Never hear the tragedy Darth Vegas the Wise.
No.
I thought not. Not a story the Jedi would tell you. But Audible will. So today you get to find out about Audible. You guys know I'm a big fan of Audible, and if you don't know about it, you can go check it out at audible.com/Star Wars Theory or text Star Wars Theory to 500-500. Audible is something that I use daily. I listen to all of my Star Wars audiobooks on Audible, and I find my time is spent a little better by doing this because I don't have to sit down and read a book, which I know a lot of people love. But this, I find I retain the information better, and it's more entertaining because you get voice actors, you get officially licensed Star Wars music. I mean, it's stamped by Lucasfilm, so you're getting the real deal. You're getting essentially a movie without the picture, and you're getting sound effects and everything. And I just find it's so much more immersive of a story experience, you know, like Dooku Jedi Lost, Master and Apprentice, the Darth Bane trilogy. All of these books are so fantastic. I'm thinking if you guys want to check it out, it's free for a month. You got nothing to lose. And then every month that you are signed up, you get a free token. So you can go from there, and they give you basically free audiobooks every month that you're signed up. So it's pretty sweet. Go try it for a month. Check it out, you know, while you're driving or while you're cooking or while you're hanging out with your pup. Do whatever you want to do, and you can listen to these audiobooks that are out there. If you want to check out Audible, text Star Wars Theory to 500-500 or go to audible.com/Star Wars Theory. Thanks, and I will see you in the video.
We would be honored if you would join us.
In Revenge of the Sith, we all got the outcome that we know today, with Anakin turning into Darth Vader, suiting up and becoming more machine than man, taking his first breath as Padme takes her last. And with the birth of the twins, we eventually near the end of the film, with Vader standing beside Sidious watching the construction of the Death Star from their Star Destroyer. Vader never saw Padme again after he choked her and she fell unconscious. It haunted him for the rest of his life. Now what if I told you in an unseen concept art, Lucasfilm artist Derek Thompson back in 2002 drew up an ending to the film that he thought would be cool. Now obviously we know this can't happen, as Vader didn't know that he had twins, and he didn't know his son survived with Padme's death. In fact, the Jedi purposely gave Padme a pregnant bump during her funeral on Naboo to make any hidden enemies watching from near or far to know that the child had died with her, and they knew that the Emperor would surely seek out the child of Skywalker to train him and turn him to the dark side. During this concept art, Derek drew this scene right here, which is a fan fiction that I want to write, and I'm going to need you guys to comment below what you think would happen. I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste as to how I would write it too, once we go over this image. It's something I never thought of because it's that far-fetched, which is saying a lot for my stuff. The caption reads, "Before the script was written, the design team was given the freedom to imagine possible scenarios. Here, Derek Thompson has Vader find Padme and their babies and use the Force to dispatch the Jedi who are protecting them." December 20th, 2002. So this was before George Lucas had, I guess, given the full script to the crew. He was probably still finishing it up at this point. Now, while this concept would never have been used, it was included in the book simply because, and this is my theory, because it is so freaking cool. Imagine had the events of Anakin vs. Obi-Wan ended, say, 15 minutes sooner than what happened in the story. Or let's say they even happened at the same moment, but, you know, Padme didn't die. Vader would have suited up and felt Padme still alive, or at the very least, felt Obi-Wan's presence or Yoda or whoever you want to make you believe the story a little more. But you gotta go with me on this. It's a fan fiction after all. Now I know it's a long shot, but hey, if he really searched his feelings, I think he could sense one of those people. He gets in a shuttle and blasts off to Polis Massa, barges open the doors as Padme, who is not dead, cradles her children. All three Jedi protecting her, as we see in the photo, are raised into the air and suffocating as they grab for their necks. Vader has arrived. Padme, unsure of who this is, screams as Vader walks towards her and removes his mask as he summons the Force to keep the oxygen from leaving his lungs. By the way, this was a thing in Legends. Vader could actually survive without his mask, but only for a short period of time while summoning copious amounts of the Force. It left him quite vulnerable, but it was possible. She sees his eyes and knows that it's him. She is disgusted, her heart heavy. She refuses to come with him. His rage takes over as she denies him. "Everything I've done was for you. Look at me. I've become this thing for you, my love." his manipulation now more grotesque than the burnt skin that hangs from his bones. No, you are not the man I loved. You are corrupted and evil, pure evil. As Obi-Wan and Yoda enter the room to see what the commotion is, they see Vader standing before them. Anakin standing before them. Vader chokes Kenobi and throws him to the wall.
Leave the children, you will. Enough pain and destruction you have caused.
Anakin puts the mask back on his face, releasing the Force from oxygenating his lungs, and now has full control of his new powers.
The fate of the galaxy is your doing. If only you helped me when I asked, your precious Jedi would still be alive.
Vader's cloak is pushed back as his crimson blade ignites the darkness of the room, to be met with the emerald green of Master Yoda. And then I guess you guys can come up with, what happens in the comments, and then I can turn it into a full fanfic. Now, it's pretty hard to say if Vader would actually beat Yoda at this point. I don't think he would. He'd probably get clowned, but then again, Vader does have his new powers, and this is a fanfic, so it could go any way that we want. Maybe a stalemate, or somehow Vader, I don't know, gets crushed or something, or he leaves somehow with maybe one of the children, or who knows? You guys let me know. You figure it out. You do the heavy lifting here. Now, that being said, I don't think Padme would ever go with Anakin again. I mean, she was already pretty done with him on Mustafar, and after choking her, and now turning into this monster, I don't think she would be with him. And it's got nothing to do with the way he looks. I firmly believe that Padme would still love Anakin with the way he looks after what happened to him with Obi-Wan, but if he was the same person that he was. So if he was Anakin Skywalker, and let's say that happened to him, fighting Darth Sidious or something, and he survived, I think that she would still be with him no matter what. Now, if we're going to go on that tangent, I firmly believe that he would have looked a lot better. There is Force healing. And as for the cybernetics and technology that Palpatine used, they were archaic, extremely archaic. Like, he didn't give him the top end stuff like he gave Grievous. Grievous was a state-of-the-art cyborg. Vader was extremely limited due to his cybernetics. I mean, he couldn't really raise his arms over his head. He couldn't do much. He was obviously always in pain, emotionally and physically. I mean, the helmet itself had a million different pins and needles that would go into his brain, into his nervous system, and basically connect themselves to himself. He was in constant agony, constant torment, and it was through this that he actually gained more power. And therein lies the, basically, story of the Sith and how they gain their strength. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about this concept art that was made just for fun. I love seeing, Lucasfilm give their writers back in the day and their concept artists and their artists free reign to just kind of do whatever they want and, just warm up until George Lucas is ready to give them the full script. And of course, this scene, while it would have been very cool, really would not have fit in the continuity of Star Wars, as this was going to be bridging the gap between Episode 3 and Episode 4. So after this, it just wouldn't have made sense for Luke to be on the moisture farm, because Vader would have known about him if this had happened, and maybe he would have even taken him with him, and Luke would have been trained. Funny enough, it's actually been stated by George that had Luke trained under Vader like Starkiller, he would have been exactly like Starkiller. He would have had the same amount of powers. So Starkiller's powers are exactly how strong Luke would have been had he trained under Vader. So, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like on it if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Check me out on Spotify and on my website, StarWarsTheory.com. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.